position not just in things like Motown and things like Old City and cars, but also the issue of the Underground Railroad. So I'll give you a little anecdote. So we were doing a tour, we've been doing it for years, and about maybe 2016. We had, it was raining actually. We couldn't do something that we wanted to do, so we ended up going to the Detroit Historical Museum, which is more indoors and we could see some stuff. And Paulette, they gave us different tour guides. Paulette had one tour guide, and I had a tour guide. Paulette's halfway through the tour, and she's like, my tour guide sucks. Are terrible. And I was going, let me tell you about who I had. That was this brother. And I said, he's in here cooking. He's getting everything. He understands the history from the left, right side of his context, and he can answer the intricate, deep questions in addition to being an educator himself and being committed to this cause of educating people to understand history, local history, but also tying into national and international history. His name is Mr. Jamon Jordan. Okay? And at the time, give it up. And at the time, he was one of the tour guys there at the Detroit Historical Society, or Detroit Historical Museum, but now he is officially the official historian for the city of Detroit. And any question, whether it's about Greeks or Italians or the Irish or German immigrants or whoever it might be, he is the historian for the entire city of Detroit, not just African American. So any question you may have or anything that you might know, this dude can answer for you. Okay? So thank you guys very much, and give it up for Mr. Jamon Jordan.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can y'all hear me? Yes. Or as we say in Detroit, what up, though? It's good to see y'all here today. I know that the rain has, changed some of our plans, but I'm happy to be here. As you already know, I'm Jamon Jordan. I'm the official historian for the city of Detroit. But before all of that, I was a middle school social studies teacher. So my students were learning history, but a lot of history was missing. A lot of history wasn't in the textbook, it wasn't in the curriculum, so I had to find ways to include it. One of the ways I included was to take them on field trips. And today those field trips are tours. So it started with my students, and as parents were taking these field trips with their children, my students, they were learning things themselves. They were like, hey, I grew up in the city of Detroit. I've been here for 40 years. I never knew that was there. I never knew that ever happened. And so they started trying to bring people on the field trips with their children. And we had to say, hold it, these are kids. You just can't bring your best friend on the field trip with the kids. So on the weekends and summers, I started leading tours for people who weren't my students or the parents of my students. So that's how I started Black Scroll Network History and Tours. And I lead tours dealing with Detroit's history, not only its African American history, but especially its African American history. And I did that of course, for years. I still do. That's how I hooked up with Footsteps of Freedom. In 2021, since I have been given so many tours for the University of Michigan, they said, why don't you teach a class? So I teach a class at the University of Michigan on Detroit history, and this fall I'll be teaching 2 classes at the University of Michigan. And then that same year, I was appointed the first official historian for the city. Yes. So I'm happy, of course, always to work with Footsteps. So today, we're going to be doing a tour. It's a little different than the normal tour, going to each one of these historic sites because the storm kind of messed that up. But we'll be seeing some of the historic sites, but not all of them. And right now, you're inside of the Renaissance Center. This building was built in 1977. The main funder of the building of this space was Henry Ford II. Henry Ford II, of course, was the grandson of Henry Ford. And so it was built really to try to rejuvenate downtown. Detroit was on a decline at the time, so it was meant to rejuvenate downtown. It didn't really work. So in 1996, it was sold to GM, General Motors. General Motors bought this in 1996. And they opened up this area out of this place that we're at right now. This was opened up because it was almost like a fort. This place was like a fort. There was a big wall in the front. You couldn't even see how to get in. It was where the heating and very confusing, the architecture of the building. But GMB was good. You see there's a area for cars. But they're moving out of this building into a new building that's being built, almost the Hudson building. So they're going to do there, and we don't know exactly what's going to happen here. There's a hotel here that's pretty successful, so we expect the hotel will stay. The plan that they have for this building is to destroy two of the towers that face Jefferson. So north of where we're standing, there's two towers, two small towers. They want to destroy the smaller towers. Leave the ones in the back and leave the main towers in the center. Leave that one there. And that's the plan. We don't know if that plan is going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. But a lot of the businesses that used to be here have moved out. Of course, GM, who owns the building, is moving out. Something's going to happen when they move out. We don't know what, but something will change in this building. Of course, behind you is the Detroit River. We're going to go outside and talk more about the history of the Detroit River and its role in the Underground Railroad. But before we do that, what we're going to do now is I'm going to give you an opportunity to take a bathroom break.